some of the events, such as Grab is at the bar drinking when he hears his friend died. He decides to stand up to death. He gets his friends dip and cut, and they go looking for death, is helpful in order to prepare ourselves to dive more deeply into the story today. Today we will begin our study of pacing, or how quickly or slowly an author takes the reader through a story. Today we are in the examine craft stage, asking the question, how and why do storytellers pace their stories? We will now think about the pacing of the plot of The Partner's Tale.
So pacing is the speed at which an author tells a story. So the pace could be fast or the pace could be slow. We're thinking about how they tell the story. We're thinking about, do the events come really quickly one after the other, moving quickly to the climax or the end, or does it move really slowly? That's the pacing.
Why might an author pace events slowly? Look at the visual image on the screen to help you consider the first question. Very good. Now think about question number 2. Why might an author speed things up? To make a story or part of a story fast-paced, an author writes plot events that happen one after another with little description. When the author wants to slow down the pace, he or she includes a lot more detail about the character's thoughts and feelings. Let's look at the visual image on the screen. The term rising action refers to the events building to the climax. The climax is the turning point for the main character. Things might turn out for the better or for the worse. And the falling action is when the conflict unravels, is resolved, the story ends, and the reader's tension is resolved. Once again, take a moment to quickly review your literary dominoes. Then arrange your literary dominoes to show the dramatic structure of The Partner's Tale. Your dominoes should be in a triangle formation, just like the visual image on the screen. So think about the rising action events, the climax event or events, and the falling action events. Pause the video and do this now.
Okay, students, so what I would like you to do here is to go to your Jamboard. So I'm going to use Amira's as an example. This is what you did in class today. So you can see first that Amira has her events listed here on her sticky notes. If you don't have, let's say, more than 5 to 8 sticky notes, I'd like you to pause the video now and add the rest of the events that you need to. So pause me now if you need to. And now, assuming that we all have at least 5 to 8 sticky notes capturing what we have here as the main events of the story, you're going to line them up in a triangle. So first, you need to put the top of the triangle. So you would move this out of the way. And at the top of the triangle, you want to put the climax, the most intense moment of the story where the event comes to a head. So to me, when I think about the climax here, I think about after they've decided to kill one another and when Dip returns with the poison and they kill him by stabbing him, but he has already given them the poison. I would consider that to be the climactic moment. So I would put that at the top. I would put that at the top of my triangle. When Dip reached the oak tree, they immediately slaughtered him. And then I want you to put in a triangle order here, the beginning to where the events lead to this, and then putting the following action events here going down. So go ahead, hit pause right now, and arrange your literary dominoes. Go. Okay, now that you've done that, you should be able to see the same thing that the teacher in this video is talking about, with seeing where the pace is slow, where it takes time, and where it's fast, and where it happens quickly. So I'll put this back for Amira. I hope you'll be able to see that connection as she continues this section of the lesson.
Great work. I wish I could see your visual image. What does the shape of your structure tell us about the pacing of The Partner's Tale? How did your structure look? Did it have a lot of rising actions and then just a few falling actions after the climax? Why might the story end so quickly, with death taking all three of the thieves? The slow pace builds suspense and allows readers to see what fools the thieves are. They make mistakes and turn on each other. The quick resolution emphasizes death's power over the living. Now you'll have a chance to experiment with pacing. Using the story The Partner's Tale and your literary dominoes, identify one scene in the tale that has a slow pace and one that has a fast pace. You may want to jot page numbers or notes in your journal as you identify each scene. Take a moment, go back into the literary dominoes and The Partner's Tale to identify one slow and one fast-paced scene. Pause the video and do this now.
So again, students, go into your literary dominoes and select the two separate scenes that have fast and slow pace. I want you to pull the slow pace scene out of your triangle and move it to the left and label it slow. Pull the fast pace scene out of your triangle and move it to the right and label it fast. You can think about, she kind of already talked a little bit about how the scene moves really quickly in that scene when once they dip returns, whereas the leading up and the rising action moves kind of slowly. So maybe you look on the left side of your triangle for a slow scene, maybe at the top or the right side of your triangle for a faster scene. But go ahead right now and identify which scene is which, faster and slower, move it to where you want it to be in your triangle, on the left or the right.
Awesome work. I think the pace moves quickly as grab, cut, and dip plot against death, and then find gold and plot against each other. The author also includes a lot of detailed description and action to build to the climax. The end comes really suddenly when death carries off all three.